Good evening and welcome to the TJ Fulon Fieldhouse over here at Park Hills, Missouri. We are in the MAAA Conference Tournament for Volleyball. We're in the gold bracket. This is the first year that they will have pool play before the tournament. Of course, the Ninettes able to pull out the victory against St. Genevieve in a very closely contested match between the two schools. Of course, they played a pretty close match during the regular season as well, but in this matchup, once again, the Central Lady Rebels, who will come into this one at 28-1 against the Farmington Ninettes at 15-10-2. Dennis, what do you think will be key tonight between these two teams?
Well, I think the defense for Farmington needs to step it up in this game. They need to have a high intensity coming into it. I mean, Central, they don't have high intensity coming into this game with a great record, 20-8. So obviously they've strung up a few wins here and there.
It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens tonight. Going back to that matchup between Farmington and St. Genevieve the other night, the key between the two schools was really the defensive set that came out during that second set for the Ninettes that really took a strong hold. The Ninettes in that matchup, I believe it was 25-22 in that first set, and then in the second set, the Ninettes really dominated, 25-15. Not something that you really would have expected, but like I said, the defense really stepped up, and in particular, it was the senior number 26, Whitney Johnson, really picking the Ninettes up on the back line as Andy Petty was serving. So you really had two seniors that were key, but of course in that front line that is always key is going to be the junior, Maddie Bradley. On the other side of the court for the Central Lady Rebels, that key individual to lock down tonight will be Abby Fishbeck. She was the one player that really dominated the Ninettes the first time around when these two teams faced each other.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great match tonight. I mean, you have Courtney Knox. She's generally the setter for Farmington, and she'll have to set it up for Johnson and Bradley tonight, even Gillum sometimes, but she has to make it perfect for those three girls.
On the scoreboard, the Farmington Ninettes will actually be the visiting team because they come in to this tournament with the lower seed. Both of these schools ended up tying for the MAAA Large School Conference title. On the other end, you had the Small School Conference title that ended up going to the Bismarck Lady Indians. However, just a few seconds ago, Valley Catholic able to pull off another upset. They pulled it off in the pool play against North County, and now they've done the same thing in the true tournament style play with the bracket against the Bismarck Lady Indians that came in with the 1 seed for this tournament. So right now with these final two teams left to play, you've got the number 1 team upset by the 5. And now it'll be number 2 and number 3 to face off between Farmington and Central.
Well, Bismarck had a 28-3 record coming into play, and that's even better than Central's record of 20-8. They've only lost 3 games, so that's pretty big.
Well, and looking back through Bismarck's schedule, I believe one of those wins actually came against the Central Lady Rebels, and in that game, Central dropped the first set 17-25, came back, won the second 25-22, but then dropped the third, they dropped the first one 25-17. Flip that once again. Won the first set 25-17, then dropped the next two 25-22, 25-23. So a very closely contested matchup between the two schools, but the Central Lady Rebels were not able to pull it out in the end. So tonight, once again, Farmington versus Central MAAA semifinal here in the gold bracket. The starters out on the court for the Ninettes will have number 25, Maddie Bradley, number 26, Whitney Johnson, number 12, Courtney Knox, 7, Hannah Marler, 6, Madison Brown, 3, Sydney Savage, and number 21, Andy Petty. Andy Petty, the defensive specialist for the Ninettes. On the other side of the court for the Central Lady Rebels, defensive specialist will be Tristan Jordan, number 6, then number 2, Megan Skaggs, 8, Abby Fishbeck, who I said will, number 10, Brooksana McKinney, 11, Mackenzie Jones, 13, Kelsey Davis, and number 21, Sydney Skaggs. Maddie Bradley with the serve for the Ninettes. And a quick point goes in favor of the Lady Rebels. I believe that kill was made by number 2, Megan Skaggs, make it her first of the night, and service will go over to the Lady Rebels. Hopefully that will be a good indication right there. It comes off of her foot. Last night, of course, most of this area tuned into the World Series game. Adam Wainwright hitting his head on the dugout before he even went out. So hopefully we'll get some of the same magic that Boston got, but we'll put it in our favor for the Knights tonight.
Here's Courtney Knotts with the serve. Here comes. Dug out by number 21, Skaggs. And there's the hit by number 10. And then Farmington was bumping it over to Central side. There's the hit by Knotts will pass it back to Brown with the hit, and Central has it. There's
nice job by Maddie Bradley digging that one out, and the pass goes over to Madison Brown. She hits with the spike. And the big block there on Abby Fishbeck, and as I said, that will be key during this matchup between the two teams. And the Knights able to score on that one and go with the lead, now 2-1. Knox with her second service. A nice deep serve on the left side. Skaggs able to pull it out. Pass goes over to Gillum, and she will get the kill. That's her first of the night. Knox with back-to-back service points. And her third serve, a nice hard serve. Skaggs with the receiving end of it. The other Skaggs sister, Megan Skaggs, who hits it out, and that will be her first error of the evening. 4-1 in favor of the Knights. And that one passed around, and the Lady Rebels looking kind of like Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina.
Well, it was number 11, Mackenzie Jones, trying to set it up. No one was there. It just bounced onto the ground. And that's not what you want.
After compared to the Cardinals' Game 1 World Series, and Lady Rebels finding a couple of ways to have that done here in the early going. They're able to win that point, so it'll be 5-2 now in favor of the Knights. Service made by Jones. Knox with the bump, and the deep pass sent over by Gillum. The set to Fishbeck. It's tipped. Gillum on the outside. Knox back. Has her kill blocked, but it is knocked out of bounds, so it will be a successful kill attempt by Gillum, and that's a couple of quick kills by the junior. Brown back to serve, has a nice floating serve and is usually pretty accurate. And right there shows exactly what she could do with the point. Make it 7-2 now in favor of the Knights, and definitely nice to see after the last matchup between these two schools. Knights, I don't believe, ever had a 5-point lead on the night, but they've got it in the early going here. Bracket play of the MAAA Conference Tournament. Nice job by Knox. Knox pushes it over. Gets it in between several of the Lady Rebels, and Knights with a great opportunity here. Whitney Johnson with the spike, and the Lady Rebels able to recover. Knox having to sprawl out for that one. It'll be a successful kill opportunity there for the Lady Rebels.
Central has some communication problems, as you had 2 or 3 girls going after the ball. That's not what you want. You need to stay spread out. One girl needs to call for it, and that's not what happened.
And a bad break there by the Lady Rebels, Abby Fishbeck, as she sends the serve into the net, and the Knights will gain service with Whitney Johnson. A great serve, make it 9-3. Some strong serves so far tonight for the Knights.
And you need to stay up. They're up by 6 points already, and they need to stay up in this game. If they get down, they're going to stay down, as Central's going to get momentum.
Johnson with her next serve. It's a deep serve received by Tristan Jordan, the libero. Maddie Bradley with the kill opportunity. Jones able to put a hand on it. It's passed over to the far side to McKinney. Brown able to get a hand, and Savage will send it over. Sent it into the middle of several Lady Rebels, but they are able to recover. And instead, McKinney will send it into the net. Already with 10 points on the board, have a 7-point lead now. Johnson with another serve. She sends this one into the net. So already a few service faults between the two teams. And it will be Brooksana McKinney with a chance to redeem herself after sending one into the net just a second ago. It's received by, and the kill opportunity by Bradley. Bradley with a nice hit. Just got it over the head of the blockers, and she's able to put it into the right placement on the court for the kill. And it'll be 11-4 now for the Knighthettes. Senior Hannah Marlar back for the serve. Piece to the winning puzzle the other night against St. Genevieve. Marlar with the bump, the set by Knox, the kill over to Bradley. She was able to get a nice spot on the ball, but the Lady Rebels able to recover, and a miss hit there. It's tipped around. McKinney. Knox with the set, and a quick slam down by Skaggs will make it 11-5.
And Sydney Skaggs was there to tip it back over as Farmington was trying to dump it over, but Skaggs would just tip it back on over, and it would hit the court, and it's going to be point Central.
Really a balanced attack sides right now. You can't really say that one player stood out amongst another.
No, you really can't.
Tipped around and over to the outside. It's Skaggs, and it ends up being hit out of bounds. So it'll be 12-5 now in favor of the Knighthettes. Back to serve for the Knighthettes, number 21, Andy Petty. A nice serve, splits the defense of the Lady Rebels. Johnson receives the spike attempt. A nice low spike. Nice dig by Brooksana McKinney of the Lady Rebels. The dig and the spike by Bradley on that play, unsuccessful. Johnson, a nice save opportunity there. Bradley, another opportunity, goes off the speaker, tipped around, gets set, and the Knighthettes with a big 5. And the Knighthettes, no doubt about it, they are pumped up about this one. Speaking to any of the Knighthettes all day, they definitely were very focused on what it was going to Rebels after the Lady Rebels sent them packing in 2 sets during homecoming week just a few weeks ago.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be big. Farmington has great communication so far this game. I haven't seen really too many miscues, unlike Central. Central's had a few miscues, so is Central. But your offense, the attacking point, is key in volleyball.
Yeah, looking over the course of the season, when you look back to that Central game, arguably that probably had the worst game of the year. And I'm not just meaning by the score, I'm meaning by the overall performance. That was, I've been there to announce every single home game. You've been at several of the home games to call the play-by-play. Once again, joined alongside with Dennis Pogue this evening. So we've both been able to see quite a few, and definitely the play that we saw against Central last time is not what you expect from the Knighthettes, and they are showing that tonight. Bradley, and a little bit more miscommunication is costing the Lady Rebels here in set 1. And the Knighthettes nearing a possible double-digit lead here in the first set. The nice serve, able to split the defenders, and there they go, 15-5, double-digit lead for the Knighthettes. Definitely not what I expected coming into this one.
No, I expected a little bit tighter. They're up by 10, so that's big. Another miscue there by Central, number 21, Sydney Skaggs.
Well, it rained and it poured last night, and it's raining and pouring for the Rebels. Skaggs sends it over deep into the corner. Nice job by Marlar, saving that one in the far corner for the Knighthettes. Petty with the dig, knocks the set by Bradley. Set up to Skaggs. Skaggs gets a nice deep hit, and the Knighthettes playing spectacular defense once again, not letting too many balls reach the floor. Bradley. Johnson tries to go over and get it, but it ends up going into the referee stand on the court. So it'll be 16-6. Lady Rebels with a chance to cut single digits. Marlar with the hit, and just as I spoke highly about the defense, a defensive miscue that time, 16-7.
Well, Hannah Marlar has been known to make a few miscues here. She's had a few rough nights, and Central is actually one of those nights she's had a rough night.
It definitely was. All the seniors looked really off that night. Not sure if you're going to blame that on kind of point to, but Abby Fishbeck able to send that one back over, and she finally is able to get her first kill of the night so far. 16-8 now in favor of the Knighthettes. Skaggs Once again, the defensive senior unit there at the back, and this time it's Andy Petty with the miss hit, 16-9. The serve for the Lady Rebels, a nice set by Knox over to Bradley. Bradley with the deep hit, and it goes out of bounds. Lady Rebels making a nice run at 16-10. Coach Julie Ward of the Knights will call a quick timeout, a good place timeout, as the Lady Rebels make a little bit of a run here. They've ended up with a total of 5. They have not been able to link that kind of consecutive run together until this point. So Knights are going to have to clean up the defense a little bit. We've had a couple of defensive miscues, plus the spike out of bounds has given us the score of 16-10 now. Out on the court for the Lady Rebels. Mostly have the only difference is don't have the libero out there right now. In for the libero is number 13 of the Lady Rebels, Davis. Nice deep spike and give another point to the Lady Rebels. They cut it back to within 5, a 6-point scoring streak. Skaggs with the serve. Johnson back to Bradley. A nice save by Skaggs and some miscommunication once again. And the head coach, Jen Mills of the Central Lady Rebels, cannot believe miscommunication costs them once again and make it 17-11 in favor of the Knights with Maddie Bradley back to serve. Deep pushes, goes over to Fishbeck, and the block goes out of bounds. Make it 17-12. And a quick point for the Lady Rebels once again.
They've doubled their lead as Farmington's only scored a couple of points here. That's not
Skaggs with the serve for the Lady Rebels right now. A set by Brown, set by Knox, and it Knox with the low set ends up calling 14. So what we expected to be a close matchup between the two teams is now starting to come down as we set. Served over by Skaggs. The pass by Knox. A nice spike. It's tipped around. And nice hit. We'll make it 17-15. Back to a 2-point lead for the Knights as the Lady Rebels could do this. Skaggs with the serve. It's deep. Petty barely able to get a good hand on it. And Johnson with the dominant kill that time. Back to serve for the Knights will be the individual that was serving when they were able to get their first lead. Knox. Knox with their first serve. Nice spin on the ball. Lady Rebels not able to get a ton on it. Knox with the set. Gillum. And with the slight block chance there, the Lady Rebels are able to gain control. Brooksana McKinney sends the kill. And the Knights full block will make it 18-16, back to a 2-point lead. Jones with the serve. It's mishit. Bradley goes back, and Whitney Johnson nearly able to save it, but instead make it 18-17. 1 point. And we're nearing that scoring range that we saw last time between the two teams. Knox with the set. Nice job that time. Service back to the Knights. 19-17. Got a decent student section tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty
for the
big.
Knights.
It looks like it's slightly bigger than the one at Farmington.
Not say this at Central, and yes, we have a larger school, but typically the student section really comes out and represents Central anytime that Farmington. But tonight I might say that we have a few more students in our section in comparison.
I have to say so too.
Time by Gillum. And Gilton's really starting to take control, and she's looked really, really good throughout this first set. A tip, and Fishbeck ends up with the kill. It's back to 20-18. 16-20, it feels good, but with the Knights, they've got to make sure to have their defensive set out there in to really feel good with any kind of a lead. Bradley with the bump. Johnson with the big kill. And that kill by Johnson here in just a few points to make it 21-18, and the Knightheads just 4 points within taking this. Johnson with the serve, goes deep to the libero, Tristan Jordan. Tipped around, Johnson with the bump. A nice bump recovery by Madison Brown. Brooksana McKinney with the nice spike. Johnson with the save. It's tipped around. It's blocked. Bradley with the kill opportunity, and it's blocked by the Lady Rebels. Pushed over. Bradley with the save. Knock. Johnson with the deep hit. Big opportunity for the Knightheads, and instead it's tipped around, and Knightheads are unable. 21-19. But these matchups between these two teams are some of the most nerve-wracking moments, and it kind of reminds me of some of those championship series. I'd be sitting there watching the Cardinals and sometimes holding my every breath on each pitch on right now as the Lady Rebels have climbed, scratched, clawed, whatever verb you want to put, 120 now on the board. Knightheads had as much as an 11-point lead at one point, and now we're
posted also. I mean, Central, in the past few years, they haven't been so much of a rivalry, but I think it all started with basketball when the Christmas tournament and then conference and all that stuff, and I think it's starting to become a better rivalry in North County.
Well, I would definitely say it's almost more of a more competitive rivalry when you look across at all of the schools. Better this year, and of course they beat us in football last year, and we won't talk about football this year.
No.
But you know, came back now here in the past couple of years, but for several years Central started being that team that would really challenge Farmington, and really a balance between the three schools of Farmington, Central, and North County, all of them kind of fighting. Of course, North County getting knocked out of this tournament though, 5-seed Valley Catholic. And another kill opportunity missed. The Lady Rebels will take their first lead of the night at 22-21. Brooksana McKinney back to serve. Serve sent back to Johnson. The set by Knox. Bradley with the kill opportunity. It's blocked. With the deep set to the defensive specialist in the backcourt, Tristan Jordan. Knox with the set once again. It goes to the net. A good possible opportunity, but the Lady Rebels able to save it. Nice job by both teams so far. Knox with the save goes to Gillum, and the Knightheads just send it gently. Opportunity, and ends up being blocked out of bounds is the call. I believe that it ended up hitting Johnson, but that is the call. So it'll be 23-21, and they're only a couple of points away from closing out this first set. Set by Knox, goes back to Brown, and make it 24-21, and they're only a point away. Disappointing to see after the Knightheads gain a lead. Lady Rebels 1 point away from closing out the first set.
Central's definitely has some momentum.
Knox with the set. It goes to Johnson. And a nice defensive set by the Lady Rebels, and has led to the lead. Skaggs gets blocked by the Knightheads. Service at 24-22. A key moment here, and it will be the senior Marler with the deep serve. Goes back to McKinney. Couple of sets. Skaggs with a nice opportunity. Brown, 24-23. Don't count them out. 24-23. And the Knightheads just one more serve away from tying, pushing this game into some extra points.
Yeah, they need to. Well, they obviously need to get this next point here for that. But this is a pretty close game right here. And this is what we expected coming into this game.
Right there, and especially if the Knightheads are able to pull this one off. Of course, we look around at some of the other commentator reports, and a couple days ago, or I believe it was actually yesterday, we took a look at the Florida Panthers hockey team commentary work for when they score a goal, and after watching that video, scream out a line from a movie real quick, a quick "Ma, the meatloaf" or anything like that. 24-20 for the Knightheads, and it'll be Marler back to serve once again. Marler with a nice deep serve. It goes back, and the Knightheads defense not there to clean it up. It'll be